Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and yes, continuing on, of course, with the Batman review marathon, and now, we've come up to the next Batman film after the 1989 Batman, film, because Tim Burton and Michael Keaton, they were brought back for another Batman film, and of course, after the success of the first Batman film, and, that being, of course, Batman Returns, and yeah, honestly, because I think this is probably my favorite Batman film. And until, of course, say The Batman, you know? Yeah, so Batman Returns, I think it's actually pretty good. It has its fans, and it has its haters. You know, some people like it and some people don't. And, you know, when it came out, nobody knew what to make up with this. Oh well, yeah. But even like say, well, Warner Brothers gave Tim Burton free control, like, you know, full control of this, you know, and Warner Brothers not interfering. Yeah, I said that right. Yeah. And yeah, it kind of it definitely shows because Tim Burton's style and everything else. But yeah, so and yeah, because this is like taking place during Christmas, around December, I want to say, during the holidays, and yet Batman Returns was released in the summer, in June. What a interesting way to release this, you know, because, well, holidays being in this movie. And, yeah, many people, like, say that, you know, that Batman Returns is a Christmas film, and, if that's what people say, that's fine, you know. I mean, yeah, because Christmas heavily involved in this, of course. Snow, Christmas trees and music, songs, you name it. And not to mention, well, the opening to Batman Returns, well, of course, we get Penguin's origin story, and that's where, you know, Penguin is born, and he's, you know, the parents just, shocked of what he looks like. You know, he's born deformed, you know, because, like how his hands are, and his nose, of course. Yeah, and just, yeah, and the Penguin's parents, Paul Rubens and Diane Salinger, if I'm saying her last name right. I read that, I found out, and I saw this, that they did work together in Pee-wee's, one of the Pee-wee films. Either it was Pee-wee's Big Adventure or Pee-wee's Big Top. I don't know. But I'll have to go back and check, just in case, of course. And of course, Penguin's parents just getting rid of him, throwing him over the bridge and into the sewer, you know. And during the opening credits, and we see the casket, like, well, the baby carrier, the basket, blah, 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 and the credits rolling, and God, great music by Danny Elfman, the opening, the Batman theme and such to Batman Returns, it's great. It's Danny Elfman, it's Danny Elfman, what can you say? And like 33 years later, and, you know, in Gotham City, and during the holidays, that's where Penguin's army, his henchmen, which are members of a circus, I guess, that went out of business, and like some of the circus gang, like there was Doug Jones. I totally had forgotten that Doug Jones was in this. He was the thin clown. That's his character's name. The late Vincent. Schiavelli? I don't know how you say his last name. He's the organ grinder, and the organ grinder also has a monkey to him. But yeah, so they come in and attack, and like the bat signal is turned on, and yeah, Batman, like Bruce Wayne's introduction to this is pretty cool. He's just sitting there in the, like, kind of in the dark in his room, and, you know, the bat signal turns on, he sees it and stands up. That's pretty awesome, yeah. And Batman and his Batmobile, and like stopping Penguin's henchmen, and even like, say, setting one on fire, and which the one that he sets on fire is, like, you know, blowing fire. It's one of those like circus members, you know. And Selena Kyle, played by Michelle Pfeiffer. Yep, because we get to see her, and Christopher Walken, who plays Max Schreck, and Max Schreck is named after the actor who played the original Nosferatu, you know, like the original silent movie vampire. And of course, the return of, like, say, Michael Goff as Alfred Pennyworth, and Peter Hingle, yeah, I think I said that right, as James Gordon, or, you know, Commissioner Gordon, and some of other characters in this, like, I think, yeah, Michael Murphy as Lee Marie, I want to say. That's probably the name. And Andrew, I don't know how you say his last name, but I believe he's playing it's him, like, he plays the part of Max Shrek's son. So, and God, like, he is doing a Christopher Walken impression as well. Well, because, you know, say what you say about Christopher Walken, like some people say, like, Christopher Walken is playing Christopher Walken, yeah, but he's still playing a character, so, like, characters would act like Christopher Walken, you know what I'm saying, his personality. And also there was the Ice Princess, played by Christy Conaway, like, her being there to light up the Christmas tree, the ceremony, and at one point Batman saves Selena Kyle, and up to when, like, later on, Max Shrek pushes Selena Kyle out the window, and that's where, all the cats, they are scattering and, like, gathering around her, and one of the cats chews her fingers, and God, like, when she opens her eyes, that's creepy. She can pull off some pretty creepy faces in this, and, like, she has a meltdown and destroys everything in her apartment, and then becomes Catwoman. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember, like, oh yeah, Max Shrek and Penguin meeting, and here's another thing. The villains in this, well, for example, Penguin and Catwoman were not really, like, say, villains. Penguin, for example, he's not like a bad guy or doesn't become evil for the heck of it, He was just trying to fit in society and be accepted by the world, But another thing is, like, he also had a plan, basically. Like, when he was trying to find, his, like, birth name and stuff like that, he was also, like, checking out other, like, the kids of Gotham, their birth certificates and such. And so, like, that was, like, he had a plan for that, because not only, like, aside from trying to find his parents and his birth certificate, he was looking through the other birth certificates. And up to that point when, well, he visits his parents' grave, and he now considers himself, Oswald Cobblepot, and that's what his parents' last names were, Cobblepot. And, so there's that on Penguin, like, he wasn't, like, a bad guy. And Catwoman, not really, and besides, in the DC Comics, of course, Catwoman, I've said this before, Catwoman is an anti-hero. So, and Catwoman, like, she even says, at one point she says it to Bruce Wayne, that she doesn't know who she is anymore, and she's just, just gone crazy, and just, like, I guess can't make up her mind, and it's, like, going back and forth, and, like, say, when she's not Catwoman, and she's just her, and when she's Selena Kyle, and when she's with Bruce Wayne. So, also, here's another thing. There was one time when Tim Burton said that this was not a sequel. Batman Returns was not a sequel to the first Batman film. And technically it's not. Like, it's not a direct follow-up to the first Batman film. I mean, of course it would be canon to the first Batman film, and besides, mentionings of Vicky Vale, because Vicky Vale, who doesn't appear in this, so there's that, and, those sequences with, Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne, yep, and, very slowly, like, they're, like, slowly, like, discovering that, they are their identities, like, they're Batman and Catwoman, and when they fought at times, and when Catwoman injured Batman, and like, from here, like, ribs, and, like, Batman kind of scratched her arm. What else? Like, yeah, and, like, Oswald, like, running for mayor, that's another thing. And, oh gosh, what else? Like, oh yeah, one cool sequence, probably one of my favorite sequences, is when, well, okay, after Batman was framed for, like, kidnapping and pushing the Ice Princess off a building, the Penguin's henchmen, like, had hijacked the Batmobile, and they added a device so, the Penguin can control the Batmobile. And when Penguin gets rid of Catwoman, because, I don't think I like you anymore, and, like, uses his umbrella, like, strap, like, and, like, uses the umbrella to send her away and cause her to fall, and when she hits, like, a glass, like, it's one of those things with, flowers, and when, like, she screams, and, like, that's where, like, she clearly, like, goes insane. And when Batman returns to his Batmobile, and Penguin is on screen, and just, gentlemen, start your screaming, and Penguin has full control of the Batmobile, Batman can't do anything, and running over the people, and running over cars, and until, of course, Batman does find the device that, where Penguin was controlling the Batmobile. And yeah, and Batman, like, used a disc to record what Penguin says, I'll take care of the, pinheads of Gotham, and you gotta admit, I've played the stinking city like a harp from hell. Just, yeah. Man, Danny DeVito, he was just so good as the Penguin, I gotta say. And when, of course, Bruce Wayne and Alfred, they expose Penguin, and I know that my dad would talk about this when Bruce Wayne, like, kind of does this, like, does that to the disc, like, disco rap, but to me, like, okay, look at the technology that Bruce Wayne has, and obviously he did that for it to keep, like, to replay many times at the part where Penguin says, I played the stinking city like a harp from hell, like, to keep going, like, replay itself, and that's when, well, Penguin's been exposed, and that moment where everybody throws lettuce and tomato, and even Penguin's comment, yeah, it makes sense, why does someone always bring tomatoes to speeches as he's activating his umbrella, firing, and he returns back to the sewers, in the zoo, well, in the Penguins area, and thus his plan to capture the firstborn children, Gotham City, and, coming in and crashing the masquerade party, hosted, I guess, by Max Schreck. And, at first he was about to, kidnap Max Schreck's son, but Max gives himself to Penguin because, well, it makes sense for what Max tells Penguin because, he'd done so much to Penguin and, like, let him down and stuff like that, so it makes perfect sense. And that's when Batman, like, stops members of the circus as they use this train to capture the children. And so Penguin's plan B is to have his penguins, like, with missiles launched on their backs to destroy Gotham. But of course, Alfred and Batman, they mess up the signal, and, like, the penguins, they turn around and head back to the zoo. A final confrontation between Batman and Penguin. And when, like, Penguin, gets a hold of the device that Batman had, that controls the penguins, and Penguin thinks that he deactivates, the signal or something, but no, he launches the missiles, and a bunch of bats come out, and, like, they swarm around Penguin and causing him to fall into the water, and Catwoman confronting Max Schreck, and up to when Batman reveals himself to Selina that, he's Bruce Wayne, and, well, Max Schreck finds out that Selina Kyle's Catwoman, and finds out that Bruce Wayne's Batman, and even, like, he found a gun in the water, and he shoots Bruce Wayne, and even shoots Catwoman a couple of times, and, of course, Catwoman finishes off Max Schreck by, a taser, and how about a kiss, Sandy Claus, up to his mouth, and that's when Batman discovers Max Schreck, like, his remaining corpse, after being burned, and Penguin, who rises out of the water, and just this black stuff coming out is, like, what was up with that? Like, how did that happen with Penguin? I don't know, but, and Penguin's death, and the Penguins grieving over Penguin, and, yeah, and the ending to it is just, it's a very nicely done ending. Because, like, no, like, action or anything intense going on. It's just, like, say, Alfred and Bruce in the car, and they're driving their way back to Wayne Manor while it's snowing. Bruce at one point sees Catwoman's shadow. Alfred, stop the car. He gets out, and he's trying to see, like, from here to there, like, where Catwoman is, and I should say Selina Kyle. and there's one black cat that's right up to Bruce's legs, and he picks it up, and I guess that was like a little message to... That was Selina's message to Bruce, I want to say, and Bruce takes the cat home with him. And beautiful music that plays, of course, and Alfred and Bruce Wayne get the last lines. Alfred first saying, well, come what may, you know, Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne. And Bruce getting the last lines, Merry Christmas, Alfred, goodwill toward men and women. And they drive off, and the camera pans up, and the bat signal lights up, and Catwoman popping out. Yeah. Batman Returns, I think, is a great Batman film. Like, again, it has its fans, like myself, and, you know, people like it and don't like it, so, you know. And, again, as I said, like, when the film came out, people didn't know what to make up with this film. And not to mention, well, Tim Burton even stated this, that he upset McDonald's because of Batman Returns being too dark. Well, what did McDonald's expect for a Batman film, you know? And, and the thing is, how does Batman Returns get in trouble for being dark and such, while, like, say, rated R films, Terminator and Alien, they have their own toy line for kids? How is that possible? How do those rated R films not get in trouble and have their toy line, and, like, Batman Returns is depressing, like, is depressing for Batman Returns? You get my point. I don't know, and who knows, you know? But, yeah. And we all know what comes next after Batman Returns. Enter Joel Schumacher, and Michael Keaton, like, stepping down from the role of Batman/Bruce Wayne because he didn't like the direction that Joel Schumacher was taking. And, well, even Warner Brothers was not open for Tim Burton to direct another one. And again, as I said, Joel Schumacher stepping in. Enter Joel Schumacher. So, we have that coming up to review. And okay, very quickly, how do I rate Batman Returns? Well, heck, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. I love Batman Returns. I think I consider this my favorite Batman film. And again, that is until The Batman. But probably still, Batman Returns still be my favorite. So anyways, and you guys let me know what you think of Batman Returns, what you thought of my review. Leave comments as always, and give this review a like as always too. So yeah, and actually, we are not going to be reviewing Batman Forever just yet. We're actually going to be entering into the world of animation with, I think many people consider this the best Batman movie. I don't know, but stay tuned for that. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Batman Returns. More reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward. And I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And of course, the Batman review marathon is still to continue. Take care, and peace out.